Let's hope you do, sir, Tim. Mountaineer Hardcourt Legends. This is the clean version, Tim.
Destined for greatness, my name is written in stars, and I will give everything, all that I have to the cause. Fight against evil, run through the pain, battle it all, this is more than a game. I am a lion and I can't be tamed, it's how it was made, it's ice in my veins, run through it all. No matter the odds, I will answer a call, the enemy knocks on the door. Even the greatest among us will fall, but the greatest will get back up. So I won't back down and I won't give up, and I will act now and I will stand up. They know that I'm here for it all. Rise up, no matter what's in my way. Rise up, I will do what it takes. I will keep on fighting. I'll rise through it all. Rise up, no matter what's in my way. Rise up, I will do what it takes.
No matter what it is you need, you'll find it at your local Par-Mar store. From gas to grocery, snacks, and everything else you always seem to run out of, Par-Mar stores has it. Need more savings? Download the Par-Mar app and sign up for the Par-Mar Rewards Card. You won't only see our stores in your neighborhood, you'll see us in your neighborhoods too. We are proud to be in your town and proud to be a part of the community. Come see us at Par-Mar stores, and remember, if there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
Wilson Martino Dental. Did you know that 95% of our dentists have graduated from WVU? And many former players and WVU coaches trust Wilson Martino Dental with their oral health. The Mountaineers and Wilson Martino Dental. Yeah, we do that.
And yes, this is Mountaineer Hardcourt Legends Pregame for the Auburn Tigers. And yes, Wilson Martino Dental. We do it, man. Along here with basketball legends. Of course, starting up at top, we're going to look at Darryl Prue. DP, how are you?
I'm good. I want to say hi to Kelly McCourt and Joe Ruth. They spoke to us early on here.
Hey, big Ruthie, man. He was the guy who came behind the cars. Big dog Ruthie. And Tim Kearney. Timmy, how you doing today, brother?
I'm awake.
You're awake? Well, that's good because we had to put you on a milk carton for the last game because you obviously went on the lamb.
That poor little word called work got in the way of me getting online. So
that's all right, brother. No problem. And, of course, Jarrod West, Jay West, how are you, man?
Doing great. Glad to be here to talk basketball.
Yeah, I'm glad because they're not listening to you about the turnovers. So all that great assist to turnover ratio you had, they're not listening, man, because they still had the turnover problem. But we're better. We're at a victory. We're 1-0 against the Texas Tech Red Raiders. And your take. I'm gonna say with you, Jay West. And what was your take overall of the game in general?
Well, I got to give you some kudos, Wolf. You've been talking about the guys coming off the bench, and Seth and Toussaint came off the bench and gave us, I wouldn't even call it a lift. They kind of won the game for us because if you look at the starters, starters probably combined for less than 30 points. And the bench came in and did what you asked them to do. They got more time, more opportunity, and they showed up. I got to give Joe Toussaint his flowers. I've been saying a few times on here that I don't know if we can win like we want to win if he and Keedy are the scorers. But we won at Texas Tech, and I kind of thought we were going to beat Texas Tech looking at their team. But going forward, I still think we got to get the other guys Mitchell and Matthews going if we're going to win on that level. I don't think we can beat the better teams playing how we played the other night. But good win on the road. Any win on the road in conference is great. So kudos to those guys. And I actually think they got a chance to win another one today. So.
Oh, right on. Well, Tim, let's go to you, man. And, I've been saying all along, I really think that the Mountaineers need to, score in the paint and to win. And they had 10 points in the paint, man. But they had the shots.
No, they had the shots, but I guess against Texas Tech, though, with Wilson and Toussaint coming off, I think it played better to the matchup of that game because I had watched film before when they played Kansas State. Texas Tech played Kansas State, and Kansas State had a lot of the smaller guards out there and just ran over them. And I even had in my notes. Obviously, I didn't get online with you guys, but I had it in my notes to say we needed to get these two guys involved. And I think down the road, I think we need to get Toussaint and Wilson involved more in the rotation, just to get a different look. Today's matchup, with Bell and their big guy, was it Bruni or whatever, Johnny Bruni?
Yeah.
That's going to be a tough one right there because obviously, with his stats and what he's doing right now and rebounding and, and block shots, what he's averaging, I think that's going to be a key matchup today.
For sure. What about you, DP? What was your take?
Oh, it was an ugly game. Very ugly.
Yeah, but what do you say about ugly wins? It's a win.
No, but you're right. Like, a win is a win, especially on the road. I don't care how you win, but it was a brutal game, and we came on top. We talked about before, got in here and asked a question, and this team now starting to revolve around the guards. Wilson, Toussaint, Johnson. I think Mitchell he peaks out at 15, 16 points a game. So I think he peaks out at that. In the other game, Matthews is not giving you nothing but 8, and Bell isn't getting you but 6 to 8. So then the guards, if they hitting shots like that, I think we have a chance. If they're hitting shots, we have a chance. And somebody else doing something, we got a chance to win more games. I think we have a chance to win today, because it's going to be a lot of twos from Auburn. So if we're hitting threes and matching their twos at the same time, I think we have a chance.
Real quick question for everybody. Say yes or no. Was the bench key to going to the young guys for that game? Was going to the youth? Was that yes?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Well, let's start off with this then, because this is what I want to show. And I want to get this up here. And, of course, get it up here in the front. And this is here, man. Now, we remember what Josh Eiler said in his pregame. He said, we got to move the ball side to side. Well, this tells me, for offense, this tells me that this team might be a little bit coachable. And we'll talk about the free throws once it gets going. But here you can see him moving side to side. And, Jay West, go ahead and talk about it. Because here they are moving, man. They're moving side to side, just like Josh said.
Most importantly, they had good space, and they went to the post, put people on the weak side, drew the double, kicked it to the weak side. Now the defense in scramble mode. Stevenson hit a nice shot. So the spacing was very good. I don't know why Texas Tech double team. That might be their scheme, but once they double team, they got them in the scramble mode. So it's good patience, good ball movement.
Yeah. What about you, Darryl? What do you see in this kind of movement? I like what Jay just said, man, because, again, it doesn't mean they're coachable, that they're listening.
I mean, they're listening, but it's still it's bad offense. Like, he throws it in the post, he stands there. He need to get out the way. And who was that on top of him? It was like 3 guys on one side. So he really didn't have no room. It was just bad defense by them, but it was good offense by us. They have been moving the ball better, that game and the game before. It's just that the results have been bad because we don't see it that much. But they are moving the ball better. They are getting off of it. But then, there was a couple of times we drove in there and he throws it out of bounds, and somebody, it was twice he threw out of bounds. So we have to be careful how we throw it. Just don't throw it, be throwing it. You got to make sure people are there. So it's getting better. Everything is getting better. You just got to do it all the time.
Okay. Well, let's talk about what's getting better. Let's talk about 28 points, Tim. Right there for the free throw lines. That's 28 free points, man, right? You take the hits, you play physical, and you get out of it. It's 28 points. You got Stevenson. I think he got 12. And, of course, who was it got? 8. Or Stevenson got 8, and Toussaint got 12. 20 points between those two right there for free throws.
But about damn time. You know, I mean, our free throw has been suffering as far as our percentages, and it looked good, the last game. And getting back to what Jarrod and Darryl were talking about as far as the movement, I mean, this movement is totally different from what I saw, especially from last year. Last year, the movement was terrible, and the way we're swinging the passes around right now, cross-court passes, it really freezes up the defense to react more, and it opens up a lot more lanes for guys, getting open. So that I'm excited to see is we're keeping our spacing and we're moving the ball around. If they can continue this, then yeah, we're gonna have a good season.
Jay West, let's talk about Toussaint coming in. Obviously, missed most of the game, the last game, but he had 22 points against Tech, man, and he had some assists too. So again, it hasn't been what he's been doing. He may hold on to the ball a little bit too long, but he's getting better.
Well, one thing you can't question his heart, and that's what I like about him. He competes at a high level. He's a bulldog. He's very, very confident. And sometimes I think it sounds like I might be critical of him, and I'm not being critical of him or Keedy. I think both of them are very good players. My point is, for us to beat the big boys, we can't win with him and Keedy being our leading scorers. They had to be the third, fourth, fifth scorers, and I mean the other two guys got involved. But to his credit, he's a dog. He competes. He's going to give the other guys their chance initially, but if they don't step up, he's got that Russell Westbrook type mentality. If you don't step up, hey, I'm going to try to compete and I'm going to try to make some plays. Luckily, it happened for us the other night. He played well, but you can't question his heart. Can't question his heart and his leadership.
He goes back to an old guy that played for the Detroit Pistons, Vinnie Johnson. He comes off the bench and just scores, and that's what you can't expect him to run an offense like we want him to run an offense. But when he's doing this right here, that's his game. And like Vinnie Johnson used to come off the bench for Detroit Pistons when they had Isaiah Thomas and Joe Dumas, and he was that third guard that came off the bench, and he microwave. He would light it up. It looks like that's what the role Toussaint is, and that's a good role for him coming off the bench because they're not getting much bench scoring. So if he's getting 20 points off the bench, he's getting all the points. That's pretty good.
And I'll say this again, Toussaint reminds me a lot of Greg Jones as far as size and it being the bulldog mentality that Darryl was talking about. He just needs to be more consistent. That's all.
Okay, hey, Tim, so that's cool, man. But what does it say about a guy when this team is 1-6 and they're looking for leadership, and there's Toussaint coming up with 22? What does that say? I mean, it's got to be like, hey, he's stepping up. That's good stuff.
Well, Trey Mitchell, I think it was Trey in his last, game before, whatever he was talking. He goes, different guys are going to step up in different games. And that's what we're seeing right now. I mean, we have one guy who comes off the bench and takes the lead. We have other guys who are starters who take the lead. But it can't be that everyone tries to do their own thing. They've got to work together, and someone's got to take the lead.
All right. DP, let's go to this, okay? Hugs was saying Texas Tech was playing really physical, and we couldn't get it close. And when we did, they were double-teaming and at times triple-teaming us. So we wanted to spread them out and make cuts. If they're going to try and cover the rim, we're going to have to make some jump shots, and fortunately, we did. That is something that we talked about the pregame, that collapsible defense of Texas Tech. But you know what? They made the shots. In fact, we're going to see Seth Wilson a little bit, but he made 5 of them, big them. I mean, it's not just him, too. It was some guys contributing, and you got to give kudos where kudos are. We all know that Texas Tech is a tough place to play, and even though they're not as good as in past years, it's still, for a team that's 1-6, it's a big victory, and they stepped up.
Yeah, so the Texas Tech, they lost their big guy, and their big guy didn't play. So, and even with him in the game, they didn't protect the rim well. When we told you how, I think this game's going to be the same way. Auburn do block shots, but then if them guys not at the rim, you bring them up in a high pick and roll, you're allowed to get to the rim because they're not going to block the guy's not going to move up and down. But to get back to your point, they spaced the floor, they doubled. They were doubling Muhammad, like when
right
2 points a game. So that was their philosophy. So their philosophy was messed up. You know what I mean?
So you're saying they screwed up from the very beginning?
They screwed up, and we hit shots, which was great. Was great because we took advantage of their mishaps. That's how you learn to win. You do what you're supposed to do in different moments. Just like Coach said, he said, "Okay, they doubled every time." So then we hit shots. We got cutters. Remember, they never talked about cutters all year. So now we got guys cutting. Now you got guys hitting shots. The offense look different. Everybody look like they like playing with each other again. You know, guys are making shots. They're not rushing. They're not just out there just trying to throw up something. Now they shooting with a purpose.
Well, it seems like they really did kind of follow Josh Eiler's plan and what he said in the pregame. And again, I think that goes back to coaching. But talk to me about this, Joe. It's about cutters. When you talk about offense, because I need to know what is he talking about when he said they're talking about cutters now? Does that mean cutting to the basket? What does that mean?
Yes,
Yeah.
cutting to the basket. You know, at Georgetown, that's all we did. We made cuts to the basket. It puts pressures on the defense, and also confuses because sometimes Beeline used to have an offense with Pissnoggle. Pissnoggle will come and go set a screen for a guy. The guy will cut, and Pissnoggle will pop out, and that's how he was always open for the three. Because both guys will go with the cutter because the person going closer to the basket, that's what you want to do. You know what
okay. Well, when you become Jarrod, I'll let you know. Okay. But,
I'll just say Jarrod.
no, he's all right. He needs a drink of water, anyways. Tim, what did you see? What did you see, Tim, when you looked at that? And you know, again, is I'm looking for the positives. All I know is what Josh Eiler said, and that's what I saw the team at times trying to do, especially some of the young guys.
Well, like I said, and I've stated this before in on other podcasts we've done, is the basic fundamentals of you're setting those screens like Pittsnoggle did and whatever, and then they would go back on the cutter, the back. Darryl 100% right, is that it comes down to the fundamentals. If they do it right and do it correct, because it's all about the cutting and in the back door and what you can open up and spreading the defense out. And I'm starting to see that a little bit more, and they just need to keep it up.
All right, D, go ahead.
So, like, what cutting is just like getting this. Sometimes you make the pass to lead to the assist. Sometimes you cut to lead to the pass with the other person that's getting the basket.
Yeah.
Just like the screen. Yeah. So sometimes when you cut, you might not be open, but you might free somebody else up on the pass. So like before, I think everybody was trying to make the perfect pass for the person to get the assist. Now they're free flowing a little bit where the pass might lead to the assist. So I think that's what's happening even with the cutting and the ball play.
It's about freezing the defense up, freezing them or whatever, or misaligning the defense as far as doing the cutters and pulling people in different positions to open up other people.
Okay, well, we talked last pregame about putting guys out there like a Seth Wilson, and not putting him out there with the B squad, I guess, the second teamers, letting him go with the first teamers. But here you have a chance here that you see Seth Wilson. At times he was with some guys. It was a mix and match here, but he's now second on the team in 3-point makes with 24, and he had 5 against Texas Tech. I mean, that's pretty impressive. Jay West, go for it.
Well, I mean, you need shooting. You look at our starters the other night. The starters were 3 of 17.
Did he call that?
From 3.
I want to bring that up. How many times did he bank in a 3-pointer?
He did twice, but Toussaint did once as well, but a 2-pointer.
I know.
Right. But no, you need that, and that's it. Dang, he is, and that's his role. He's known as a shooter. He's known as a shooter off the bench. So kudos to him. He's coming in with confidence. We were 10 of 35 from 3. He and Joe combined for 7. So obviously, without those guys, it was rough for us to score on the perimeter because the starters definitely didn't have it going from outside tonight. So kudos to Seth.
Well, yeah, you see right here. Look at this, Seth right there. Look at him going to get that ball. He wants to play. He wants to be on the court. I mean, you saw him with the Sisto Quanco. That's what I'm saying is, sometimes you got to deal with some inexperience that you see with the younger guys for a little bit of energy, and maybe at this time of the year, maybe a little bit of fresher legs. DP, what do you say to that?
I mean, like, I would shake things up. You know what I mean? Like, he's playing. Like, every time he gets a chance, he does a pretty good job. He's just not, I don't know, he's kind of small, so I get that. Like, I wouldn't be scared to play him, not Matthews. I'm sorry, Johnson, Toussaint, and Wilson together. And I think they did it a little bit when everybody got in foul trouble and have Bell and James O'Connell in the back. Then you have that outside scoring, but you have some size in the back, to change it up a little bit.
You see that assist right there? I mean, he's looking at the court. He's seeing it.
A lot of that stuff they should have figured out early in the year when they was playing against some of the other teams, like using different lineups, giving these guys chances, because now we need them. Yeah, they stepping up now because they're getting a chance. They could have got a chance a long time ago, and the team would have been a little different. But, it's
okay, but where do you go from here? We can't worry about yesterday. We got to worry about today and tomorrow.
Yeah, they gotta keep producing. You know what I mean? Like, I think they'd be fine. You just gotta keep producing, and there's gonna be times when everybody makes a mistake. You just gotta fight through it. And Seth Wilson, what you said right there, hustling, that's a winning play. He wants to be out, like you said. He wants to be out there. You know what I mean? He's just not all scoring. The clips are showing him scoring. He made a pass. The ball was going out of bounds. He went and hustled down and got it. Those are kind of people you want on the floor. Yeah. Those are kind of people. That's how you win.
Sam, what's your take on Seth?
Well, no, and during the last game with Texas Tech, there, you could see the frustration in Huggins. I mean, when he basically took 5 guys and took the other 5 guys out, and said, "Let's get something going here." I mean, he's looking for answers too. I mean, it was like a hockey game. We had 5 new guys come in, and it started opening things up.
Let me go back to this, and Jay, let me start with you. Do you think there's anything to the fact that, listen, hey, fellas, Bob Huggins has said, I told you, if you don't do the turnovers, you got a chance. And the games that were close in the last few games before the last 2, the 3 games before that, they were doing better. Now, when you say, hey, guys, when I tell you got to make your free throws, and you scored 28 points, how much of an effect does that have on it? Because they can see it. That's proof of the pudding.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, the thing is, when you come out, we've lost so many close games, sometimes we think that we need to make major adjustments. And we've talked about it a lot here. We're very close. We've been very close, and we've made free throws a few games. Our record would probably be 5-2 in conference compared to vice versa. So, making free throws, seeing those go in late are huge. We still got to do better with turnovers, but if we can lessen our turnovers and create more assists from our guards, other guys, so we're not too far behind. We just got to be consistent the last 5 minutes of the game. That's been the thing that's been kicking our butt at the last 4 or 5 minutes of the game, our execution. So we just got to continue to make our free throws late, make timely shots, and continue to pull out wins at home. Best like today at home.
Excellent. Tim, same thing to you, only what this is like, listen, man, you got to go positive here. You can't, especially these young guys that you're trying to encourage to step up. You have to go positive, because if you keep going negative, you're going to put them down because they don't have the confidence.
Well, it depends what playing time they're getting. There was, we had some issues, I guess, from the game before with Toussaint not getting in there. I mean, I think, we got to look at our bench guys, because that's going to support us. Because obviously there's some other ones who don't step up on starting lineup that need to step up. And if they're not stepping up, then we need to go to the bench and have these guys come off the bench. And like I said before, between Toussaint and Wilson, I think it adds a lot more depth to what we're trying to do. And also, was it Onkyo, James Onkyo, whatever? Had a hell of a game. I mean,
I like it.
Yeah. He came in and hustled his ass off. He had some nice blocks, and I really like this guy. He could be a great support to Bell, because Bell's going to get into some foul problems. Just his size and the way the refs call the game. And we just need to making sure we have guys to come off the bench to back him up.
Well, there's no doubt today with Broomy in there that's going to pose some difficulties. But DP, so let's go with this and put what we did do is we broke it down, man, in the defense, because I know this is your time where you like to see the bigs and the pace, and they really did score, because they didn't hit the 3-pointers, but they scored in the paint. What's going on?
It was that Trey Mitchell this time. Back to the ball. Look at that. Back to the ball. He don't even know where the ball is. That's terrible. No pressure on the ball. Back on and it's just not getting back on defense right here. Look, he just kind of let him go. it's those things are fixable. You know what I mean? Like, just let them score right there. It's just no fight. He steps over. Look, nobody's helping. Nobody's dropping. And everybody's watching the game. Against the Texas Tech, you can get away with that. Against Auburn,
Right.
you can't do that. Against the better teams, you can't do that. That's just a good shot. This guy getting beat off the dribble. It's a good shot.
Right.
It's just like it's a lot of those small things again against a bad team when we win won't work against a good team. You know what I mean? So those plays will come back and hurt us.
And everybody's got breakdowns, Tim. And what are you seeing when you see this? Is it just that they're not paying attention? They're not effort. What's the problem here?
Yeah, Darryl's 100% right. You got your back turned to the play, and you don't see anything that's going on as far as what's transpiring. Any type of help that's going on, that just really, Darryl's 100% right. If we play this way as far as defensively against Auburn, we're going to get beat. Having that type of mentality on defense, because they're going to pound it inside. We can't have our back to the basket and not seeing the play transpire on weak sides and things like that.
Well, there's no doubt. Well, Jay West, so, go ahead and we'll talk about that as well, what you're seeing there. How do you go ahead and change it? Because, again, you got some younger guys in there, but you got some older guys that are – how do you change a guy that's not looking at the ball? He's a senior. How do you change it?
That's basic middle school shell drill defense that you work on day one of spring training. That's just holding kids accountable. But, at the end of the day, that's basic stuff. Hugging your man on the weak side, not hopping to the ball, 5 people being on the strings, knowing what the ball is. Mitchell's been in school for 4 or 5 years. He's been a starter. Can't give up that he lob over the top for a layup. So a lot of that, the players have to be held accountable for their actions. And the coaches, sometimes the best teacher is that bench. If you're giving up easy layups like that, not being at the right spot, sometimes you got to come sit with me, because that's basic stuff. That wasn't even the offense they were running wasn't even really – that was a simple play. So that's just bad defense.
Well, even I can see, if you're not watching the ball or watching your guy, your back's to the ball, you at least better feel it. It's kind of like anything. You feel the pressure. You're pushing at each other. If he releases, you might want to go with him, right? It's just the way you're feeling it in man-to-man protection. And so let's go ahead and let's go to something that's really good here, okay? Because I like this, and this is what got the team fired up. And I want you to talk about this when I get it rolling up here, man. And you can see here, let me get it back to the start here. You're going to see some good ball movement, but going to the young guys. That's Waukee right there, the big slam, right? The big slam coming in. Guys get fired up. They want to see this, right? And you see it for the floor here. It's pretty cool. And this is what basketball's about. And Darryl Prue, I want to go to you. This is what basketball's about. This is what it is, getting excited, having a good time. You can see the teammates are all juiced up, man. That's what gets me going.
Yeah, it gets you going. And that was a good play by Stevenson. The guy was staring at him, and he made a good pass. Waukee made a good catch. That was a great block.
That was incredible.
That was a great block. He blocked that with 2 hands.
Yeah.
And the referee wanted to call a foul, but the block was so good, he blocked it with 2 hands. He couldn't call it. It was like, you know what I mean? Like, he went up there, and the referee, you can see the referee doing this. Then he was like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, those plays like by him, the energy plays like that, and Muhammad, it gets you. It definitely gets you going, and you need that, especially when things are not going well. You need that all the time, and you see the guys on the bench are happy for them guys. So it's just like
I think the ref was impressed by that block. That's why he didn't blow the whistle.
Yeah, it was an incredible block. That's probably one of the. I'm surprised it wasn't on ESPN Top 10, because that was one of the best blocks I've seen. I've seen some ordinary blocks on ESPN Top 10 recently, but that one right there, he came from the weak side too. 2 hand, he helped, then came back and went up and brought the other hand up and grabbed it. I was like, man, that's that Bill Russell stuff right there.
Yep, absolutely. No, I agree.
Hey, Tim, you see that smile on his face? You see that?
Yeah.
Look at that. Oh, look at that smile. Guess what? Hey, Jay West, this game is fun when you play to win. When you play and you do what you're supposed to do and you go ahead and you execute your fundamentals. Look at that smile. What girl wouldn't love that guy smiling out there on court? Right? Look at that. Is a great smile right there. That's what I'm talking about. Having fun in the game, because sometimes you can't forget about it, especially when you're on a losing streak, Jay.
He's great. He reminds me of he has a young Marcus Goree in him with this energy. Young Buck, we called him. We call Marcus Goree Young Buck. He gave us a lot of energy off the bench, block shots, running the floor. Never called a play for him, but he would always get 8 to 10 rebounds and 6 to 8 points. I like this kid a lot because, as these guys will tell you, energy is contagious. You have a couple guys smiling, having fun, it affects everybody. So I like him a lot. I think he should continue to get more and more time because his energy, his effort, his attitude. And I talk to my kids all the time. Those 3 things I always stress. If a coach has to coach your energy, your effort, and your attitude, you're wasting time. This kid has it. He's all the smile right here. He's competing. He stays on the floor. So I think he helps a lot with those 3 things.
Right on. And Tim, let me go to you because you're the block specialist. He had 2 blocks. They haven't had a block all year long until he gets in there, gets minutes, 2 blocks, and he had 10 rebounds.
No, I mean, as far as block specialist, I'm not sure if I'm a block specialist. I mean, I did have my share, but at the same time, a lot of these guys.
I'm giving you props, brother. Take it.
Hey, Jarrod, what the hell are you laughing about? Hey, I'm still on the top 10 list for block shots, okay?
I know you are.
Okay.
I wasn't laughing at you.
Okay. No, the biggest problem with blocks is guys, and I had a nephew who played college ball as well, and I always told him, I said, if I see you drop the damn hand and try to swat a ball out, I said, I'm going to come out on the court and drag you off the court and embarrass the shit out of you. You know, Bill Russell was the king of block shots. I mean, it was all about timing, and you know, nowadays you see these guys, they just want to swat shit out of the air. And that's not the way to block shots. I mean, it's all about timing, all about, you know, body position. Because you drop that hand, the referees are going to call a foul. So it really is an art. It truly is. And I think Bill Russell wrote a book about the art of block shots or whatever. But there is an art to blocking. And some of these guys don't get it. They just want to be, you know, put it into the 6th row or whatever and, you know, have everyone scream and yell. But it doesn't work out that way.
Well, you're right, Tim, and I know this, though. When you're coming at me with a mask on because you had a broken nose, and you're wearing that mask, and you got those big-ass arms going like that. That's scary. All right, so let's go.
You weren't big, they were just long, trust me.
GP, man, what about 10 boards? That's huge.
Yeah, I mean, it's huge. That's what we say last game. We need all 3 of them to get 10 points and 10 rebounds. And he got it by himself. And, you know, I mean, that's what we need for those 3. You know, that's what we need from those three, you know. And, you know, that's how it's going to be all year. We need them 3 to get 10 and 10. If one gets 10, that's perfect. You know what I mean? If 2 of them get 10, that's better for us. But we need that kind of energy. And, you know, we need that kind of presence in the paint. You know, Bell's a presence when he wants to score and he can score. But besides that, you know, protecting the rim, you know, people think twice by coming down there when you have Muhammad and James in there when they start blocking shots. Especially, you believe me, Auburn saw that play, and everybody else in our league saw that play because it's on tape. You know what I mean? So you got to be careful going there. You got to pump fake there. You know what I mean? So that's what you want the guys to do, is to think about coming in.
Okay, question of the game is that we know that their offense, they like the offensive cross screens, back screens, and ISO. I know what ISO is. Let's talk about the offense cross screens and back screens. What are they talking about that Auburn likes to do?
So the cross screens is getting the bigs in a better low post position. So it's hard so the scouting report probably from West Virginia is going to push the big Broom out the lane. So pushing him out the lane is getting him away from the post and easily get doubled. So what happens is they'll throw it across court. Somebody will come screen. Now he'll get low post position. It's easier for him to score around the rim. So that's the cross screen. The back screens are typical. He'll probably back screen, the typical flex stuff, and the guy cut through the basket. But the cross screens is getting the post guys open. because we want to push him out the lane so we can double him while they, it's not late. Because if you double a guy near the basket, it might be too late because he's already in the basket. He's usually going to either get a foul or he's going to get a bucket. So that cross screen is tough to deal with because you can't switch, because you can't switch because you're usually going to be a little guy hitting the big guy. And you don't want Jarrod checking Big Tim Kearney down there and, and Tim giving one of them elbows, you know what I mean? Because I know Jarrod will hit him back, so it's going to be a fight.
Hey,
Darryl, I played in a rec summer league in Michael Jackson from Georgetown. I set a back screen on his ass and knocked him on the floor. He jumped up and wanted to fight.
Hey, let me tell you something. I played at Bob Huggins fantasy camp, and I knocked Josh Eiler out his can. All right, I'm telling you, and he jumped up. I'm like, "What are you going to do about it?"
Right.
Hey, Dale Wolf,
I got banned from there.
Dale Wolfley is banned from all fantasy basketball camps.
I am not allowed to ever come back again. Permanently banned. All right. With that being said, man. Okay, let's talk about our sponsors. Parmar Stores, man. Over 200 plus stores. Hey, I saw yesterday, they're opening up one in Charleston there in McCorkle. Big time. It's huge. They're going up. They're flying everywhere. Parmar Stores. Thank you very much. It's early in the morning. Okay, Wilson Martino Dental. Smile, Jay West. Because you're there for Bobby right there. Go to Wilson Martino Dental because they got the best smiles. And something about a Penn State dude. We don't care anymore about him. All right. So, here we go. Dan Cava, Toyota World. Shop the world. Danny Cava. It's your Toyota dealer in Fairmont, West Virginia. We love our sponsors and Country Roads Trust. West Virginia's name, image, and likeness team, changing the game for WVU student athletes and bringing in student athletes of higher quality. Because if you don't have Country Roads Trust, you're going to be struggling. All right, fellas, let's go ahead and let's talk about this Auburn team. And Tim, I'm going to start out with you on this. What's your overall take and in generalities? We're going to watch a little bit of video here, but what do you see from Auburn that right away strikes at you?
I don't know if you're rolling any video or not, but like I said,
not yet.
Yeah, I mean they're big guy down below as far as that's going to be a handful with Bell. In what we can do to shut them down. And on top of that, I think we really need to have these guys coming off the bench for us, for Mountaineers, to shake some things up. Because I don't, I was looking through their schedule, Auburn's schedule. I mean, it's going to be it's going to be a physical battle inside. But at the same time, I think we got, the guys who can pull this off. But like I said,
here you go, Timmy. There's number 4, Broomy. There he is. Either Broom or Broomy. I don't know, but that's the 4 guy. That's him right there. He's attacking the paint.
Well, like I said, and like Darryl was saying too, I mean, if we're not helping out and people got their guys on defense, if we got our back turned to, the ball as far as going on and helping out, and then we're screwed. I mean, we've got to step it up on the defense side as far as on the help and having awareness on the court as far as what's happening out there, especially with, the cross screens, back screens, and everything else that they're going to be doing. I mean, that's what Auburn does.
Jay West, what's your take on that? And they're attacking the paint as Broom's doing.
Well, most SEC teams, they rely a lot on speed and athleticism. So they like to get up and down and play fast. They're gonna want the tempo probably a little faster than what we want, I would assume. This kid, he's pretty good, and they had Kessler last year, and he was a lottery pick. This kid was sometimes better than him last year on the floor.
Now he had 16 points against Texas A&M, and he's 8.5 rebounds per game, so he's a relieving rebounder as well.
Yeah, he does a good job. They do a good job of surrounding him 4 out 1 in. They're looking for him. But this is going to be one of those games we talk about, shield drill, 5 against 1 against the ball, knowing where the ball is, because they want to play fast. Their guards want to push the tempo. And like I said, SEC teams are known for trying to impose their will athletically. So I think if we can kind of corral them and get back on D and make them have to set up an offense instead of playing a transition, I think we'll be okay.
DP?
Yeah, I think they lost to Texas A&M because they didn't go to him enough. Mm-hmm. He got 16, but you saw at the end of the game. Now you're trying to force feed him. You know what I mean? And he couldn't get going. I don't know if it was him or he was frustrated because he didn't get the ball throughout the game. But yeah, he's averaging 13. That means he can get 20 a lot. And with him and Williams, they both lefties, so it's going to be a little different. And Williams can shoot it a little bit. Not great, but just like Jarrod said, the SEC like to get up and down the court. And Auburn does too, but they will throw it inside. So they got a level of physicality also. And so we have to be able to our three guys are going to have to contain him. I don't know if we're going to stop him, but if we do, we're good. But we're going to have to contain him. He knows angles. He can face you up, take you off the dribble. They say don't let him get to that left hand. But everybody let him get to his left hand because we let everybody get to their right hand when they're right-handed players. So you know what I mean? It's funny when a guy's left-handed, don't let him get to his left hand. But when a guy's right-handed, nobody says that. So it's they say that, but a lefty know how to get to his left hand. So
yep.
I mean, and he's very good. He catches the ball well. He rebounds. He gives you an honest effort. He blocks shots. So it's going to be a good game, but I think it's a winnable game.
Yeah, as we talked about, they're fifth in this is to you, Tim. They're fifth in block shots as a team in the country. But number 1, which is Green, number 4, which is Broom, and then number 2, which is Williams. They have half of their points, averaging about 38 points per game. So those are the 3 guys that you have. And we're going to look at Green here in a second. But they're 25th in offensive rebounds. I mean, they're 3rd in defense at 3-point shots. They're 3rd in D in the country. That's pretty good.
3rd in the country in defensive shots?
No, 3-pointers.
3-pointers? That's not the percentage I saw. I thought they were struggling from the 3-point range.
No, defending.
Oh, defending. Oh, okay. Yeah, like I said, it's coming down to a battle down inside is what I see. And they have the talent, and like I said, we just got to make sure between Bell and the guys coming off the bench that we can compete with these guys down below. And I think from a guard standpoint, I think we're above what the guards they have and what we can bring in there. And if it comes down to hitting the 3-pointers from our side.
Right. All right, Jay West, go ahead with Green here, man. He's averaging 13 points a game. He had 16 against Texas A&M. He's got 4 assists per game. But here's the reality, is that he's got more free throw points than field goals.
Whoa. Well, he's a quick guy. We're going to have to corral him a little bit. They do a good job of spacing the floor, so we have to be in the gaps when he gets the ball. But he's quick. So he wants to get in the paint, put pressure on the referees, make a call. Like that offensive foul he just got away with. We got to – I think that'll be good for us right there. If we blitz him, he's 5'10", 5'11", so we want to kind of swarm him, make him throw over length. I think Keedy and Joe will do a pretty good job on him. I think this crowd will affect him. Normally when I was there, we played against smaller guards. Our crowd really helped because they try to do too much. We put them in bad situations. But if they have other guards on that team, like I said, they have a lot of athletes on the perimeter that can play. So we're going to do a very good job of keeping the ball outside the paint, keeping the ball in front of us, and make them shoot over the top. If he stays in the paint, we're going to have a rough day.
Good points. DP, what do you see when you see Green? He's obviously the leader. He's also, he's the leader for steals as well. So you talked about athleticism, and Tim, you were right though, man. Is that their 3-point shooting is like they shot 90% against Texas A&M, and of course they're only shooting 44% out of their field goals. But go ahead, DP.
Yeah, I mean he's in that class of Noel from Kansas State. I like Noel better because he shoots it better. Yeah, but he gets in there, he makes other people better. I think, but besides Johnson for Kansas State, I think these guys are a little better. Auburn players are. The Williams is not better than Johnson, but he's probably better than the other guy. And the center for Kansas State is not better than Broom. So I think he has better guys around him, but I think Noel is better. I think we could do a good job with him. And Johnson has proved that he can guard, guys like him. It's just the other guys I'm worried about.
Mm-hmm. Well, Jay West, you talked about obviously that they're very athletic. And here's some transition time right here I want to get back to so that they can see how fast and athletic this team really is. You see right there, that's green. Got to give up the big boom.
Yeah, that's how they want to play. If you look at SEC, I'm from Mississippi, so I know SEC.
Netches.
Yeah,
I just like saying that name.
They want to impose their athleticism, and they want to play fast. They want to get up and down. That's how the SEC plays. So if we allow them to play in space and run up and down the court, we'll be in trouble. The reason I think we're going to win today is because I think we're going to not allow that. And SEC basketball is not necessarily used to the physicality that West Virginia is going to play with today. And it's going to be an execution. If they play in space, we got problems. But if we can kind of keep the ball in front of us, I think we'll win at home today.
Yeah. Okay, I like that. All right, Tim, what's your take on it, man? Run up and down the court. You always love that.
Well, like I said, I think in reading things and watching some of these, videos, I think Coach Pearl from down there from Auburn, I think he's worried about the fact that the Big 12 is a very physical conference,
right?
And they're worried about that, and so but we have to. West Virginia has always been a very physical team, so we'll see, as far as moving people around and see what happens.
All right.
It's going to come down to the paint. That's all I got to say.
I got a question for you, and then I'm going to get with Jay. This is off what I had on the script, but let me ask you, why is the SEC getting so much better with Alabama being at the top and Auburn's the top 25? You haven't seen that except for the past, few years of more teams really being aggressive in basketball. We all know in football, but not so much in basketball. What's going on?
That's a great question. I think a lot of it has to do with the coaching. I think Nate Oates coming down to Alabama. He's a great coach. He went from a mid-major to a high major with Alabama. He's brought some good talent. Obviously, Calipari, high-level recruiter. Bruce Pearl, high-level recruiter. So when you get these coaches to come in and they bring these athletes in, listen, the South, SEC, Florida, like there's no football. They always go to Florida, Texas to get the athletes. I mean, Louisiana, there's athletes flooding the down south. So you get those guys and allow them to be athletic, play fast. And now the sad thing is a lot of these guys are playing AAU basketball. Nobody really stresses defense. So when you put athletes on the floor in space, it's going to cause some problems. I mean, Arkansas is probably the most athletic team in the country. I mean, so it's just they brought in 5-6 more good coaches that bring in the type of kids they want. They're allowed to play fast, play free. They've been causing problems in the country. Okay,
DP, you held up your hand. What's up?
Yeah, that's like he said. That South is different. Their athletes are different. They're hungrier. They're not. Most of them come from country towns, and you know what I mean. They working on farms while we got 6-year-olds that want to be on. Oh, I'm the number 1 ranked 6th grader in the country, or you know what I mean. Like you don't hear about them until they get to high school. You know what I mean? Like you don't hear about all the ratings and all that stuff. It might be one who's the AAU team in Mississippi or Alabama. We don't know. You know what I mean? Like I know Arkansas had a good one a couple of years ago, but in Florida, but like at the end of the day, those teams, they even with the football, their athletes are different. You know what I mean? So, their recruiting pool is different. And them guys and they're not putting difficult offensive systems in. Like they're just making them go up and down court. Use your length, use your athleticism, make a good play. You're not telling them to cut, make a back screen, dive. You know what I mean? No, you can't do it then. You can't do. They're just going. If they miss a shot, they just get back on defense and make up for it. And that's how they play.
Exactly.
All right. Well, let me ask you this. Right here, Mark Parsons says the SEC hired the old Big East commissioner a few years ago as a consultant. You think that's helped a lot?
No, the SEC always been good. Kentucky.
Do you hear that, Mark? No. I mean, come on, man. Give a brother a chance, man. Like, you don't got to do that. Oh, look, I'm taking it down. No.
Florida won.
Oh, all right. Hey, Mark, I'm not part of that. That was Darryl Prue.
Alabama been winning. Like, come on, man. Like,
Well, I'll tell you what, man. It's a good thing they never saw me in my day in the basketball court. Because I tell you, I was a bruiser. All right. I got one last video here for Auburn. And, Tim, I want you to take this because this defense, I told you they were third in 3 points, but they're also ninth in defensive field goals. They're 95% man-to-man, and they're averaging 8 steals a game. Now, what does that tell you when you watch this defense here, what they're trying to do? I mean, 95% man-to-man.
Well, I think that plays more into the way West Virginia plays. I mean, we've been in the past, we've had some zones thrown at us, which has kind of frozen us up because we're not used to seeing the zones or how to really attack the zones. So I think the man-to-man works more to our favor.
Okay, DP, go ahead.
what was the question again? I was just looking at Mark Parsons' response.
Yeah, he says, wait, I'm going to show it to everybody here. Okay, the SEL dropped off. They were much improved. They were not always great, apparently. They were not. Florida was great. I mean, I remember that, but I think that's what started it off, man.
Florida, Kentucky,
Kentucky's always been. Are you really consider Kentucky SEC? I mean, they've been great. They've been one of they're like an independent, like Notre Dame.
Arkansas was winning championships. Everybody was winning championships in the SEC.
Right, we're going to save that argument for another day. How are you attacking this Auburn defense?
I would get that center out of the lane, the high pick and roll, because when he goes up, he don't come back down to protect the rim. So there's chances for Toussaint and Johnson to get to the rim if they go in that high pick and roll at the top of the key. Because moving him away from the rim, he don't like to go back and forth. So hopefully he'll leave. Sorry, Mark, but hopefully he get them moving up and down, make them play defense, make some bigs move up and down because they do shoot the gaps on defense. They are very good at pressuring the ball, getting in the passing lane. So we got to be careful how we make passes too.
Okay, let's go. Let's get this going here. Debbie, what do you got to do? The Mountaineers got to do to win today. Come out victorious against the 16th ranked Auburn Tigers.
Who are you asking?
That's you, big guy.
Oh, score more points.
No,
like I said,
that's why I bring you on for your expertise, for sure.
I don't know. I mean, the biggest thing, like I said, I think it's going to come down to the paint. I really do. And shutting him down there. I mean, with this kid down there, was it Broom? I think it's going to be a key factor in this and what we've got coming off the bench and what these guys can do.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Jay West?
If it's an up and down, free flowing game, I think that's to Auburn's advantage. If it's more half court and we can impose, if it's a more physical game, I think it's to our advantage. I think Emmett and Trey, Bell, we should have somewhat of an advantage inside. But I think the crowd, our crowd, and the one thing when you cross conference, when you intra conference, Auburn isn't going to be used to our physicality. Vice versa. If we were on the road playing at Auburn and the crowd was on us, their speed might get us. I think the home court advantage in this game today is very, very important. I think the crowd will be very, very influential in how and how this game's going to go. But I will tell you, if it's up and down and in the 80s, I don't like that. I think we need to make it more of a half-court situation, impose our physicality. We're going to need two or three people to step up. As Prue said, we don't know who that is now. Are we guard? We don't know. But someone's going to step up. But I do think we come out and win the day at home at noon in the Coliseum. We're not letting the SEC come in and win the day. Stop it.
This is probably the biggest crowd they'll play in front of all year right now.
Charles Barkley was there last night. I saw the pictures, so I'm assuming he'll be at the game today. I think it'll be a raucous crowd. I think we get a win today.
DP, what's your key to winning or keys?
You have to make it ugly like they did the last game. I mean, like that might be the formula for us. Make it ugly, make them, get in foul trouble, get to their bench. Like they got a lot of guys that like to create fouls. So we got to be sure that we're not getting in foul trouble ourselves. Execute, play under control, because we don't play under control. They running it down your throat. We got to box them out. They got athletes. They're gonna run in there, try to get offensive rebounds, contain, broom on the inside, and don't let Green get into the lane. Keep them out of the lane, so make plays. So we got to have a total team effort on both ends, and just be solid. No hero ball. You know what I mean? No, people don't try to be, do too much. Just one play at a time, and just do what's in front of you.
Okay, excellent. I'll tell you what, I'm going to go out on a limb here again because I don't know if he's actually proved this. We haven't talked enough about Stevenson's efforts on defense, all around hustling to the ball. He has freaked out. He has done some silly things. He did 16 points. Half of them were free throws. I know the 2 technicals, but again, I want to see this guy just get better because I think we need him down the road here. We really do need him. So I want to encourage him. And I want to say this, man. Encourage to let the young kids, the young dogs eat. Let them eat, man, because if you can get them pumped up to contribute with the older guys, then you have some formulas you can work with and have some success of what's working one night, maybe not what's working the other nights.
Yeah, can I add on to that? So
Yeah.
So what we talked about with the centers, giving us 10, whatever, it's the same thing with Stevenson and Wilson. If one's not going, we got to go. The other one got to be going. Now we try to. So we got that going. So we got Toussaint and Wilson, balancing off Stevenson. So now we need to get somebody to balance off Mitchell and Matthews. I mean? So we need somebody to do something with that group because we got this sort of thing, that them 3 guys are doing a good job. Toussaint, Wilson doing a good job. If Stevenson's not doing a good job, Johnson's doing a great job.
Okay.
Now we need Mitchell and Matthews to do something. You know what I mean? Or have somebody else come in for one of them 2, and give us a little boost.
We talked before we got on air about. Does anyone know, is Matthews playing hurt or what? What's the status of Matthews? Because
he wasn't hurt when he was dunking 4 games ago.
Okay.
So what I mean.
Okay.
All
right, gentlemen.
He got to come in.
We're coming up to the hour. Ed, let me ask you this. Are any of you guys available? If we just said that we want to go back on at halftime and give the 5-10 minute review of what you saw in the first half, are you guys available or no?
Yes.
Tim, you up?
Yes.
What about you, G?
I'll be here.
You'll be here? All right. We will see you at halftime for Mountaineer Hardcourt Legends Pregame for the Auburn Tigers. Man, we want to thank our sponsors, part of our stores, Wilson Martino Dental, you got Dan Cavis Toyota World, and you got Country Roads Trust for name, image, and likeness. We will see you all at halftime.
Take care.
See you later, everybody. Go.
Destined for greatness. My name is written in stars, and I will give everything, all that I have to the cause. Fight against evil, run through the pain, battle it all, this is more than a game. I am a lion and I can't be tamed, it's how it was made, it's ice in my veins, run through it all. No matter the odds, I will answer the call, the enemy knocks on the door. Even the greatest among us will fall, but the greatest will get back up. So I won't back down and I won't give up, and I will act now and I will stand up. They know that I'm here for it all. Rise up, no matter what's in my way. Rise up, I will do what it takes. I will keep on fighting. I'll rise through it all. Rise up, no matter what's in my way. Rise up, I will do what it takes. I will keep on fighting. I'll rise through it all. Rise up.
No matter what it is you need, you'll find it at your local Par-Mar store. From gas to grocery, snacks, and everything else you always seem to run out of, Par-Mar Stores has it. Need more savings? Download the Par-Mar app and sign up for the Par-Mar Rewards Card. You won't only see our stores in your neighborhoods, you'll see us in your neighborhoods too. We are proud to be in your town and proud to be a part of the community. Come see us at Par-Mar Stores, and remember, if there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
Wilson Martino Dental. Did you know that 95% of our dentists have graduated from WVU? And many former players and WVU coaches trust Wilson Martino Dental with their oral health. The Mountaineers and Wilson Martino Dental. Yeah, we do that.